On the northern shores of Hokkaido, Japan's remote and snowy island, a retired fisherman has found an unlikely companion, one with whiskers, webbed feet, and a resilient spirit. It was early spring, just as the last frost was melting into the Okhotsk Sea, when 72-year-old Kenji Sakamoto spotted something motionless along the rocky banks of the Sherry River. At first I thought it was driftwood, he recalls, but then I saw its tiny chest barely rising. Tangled in a torn fishing net, a baby river otter lay limp and barely breathing. Without hesitation, Sakamoto knelt down, carefully untangled the fragile creature, and wrapped it in an old towel from his truck. It was barely the size of a loaf of bread, he says, his voice trembling with emotion. So helpless, I couldn't leave it. He rushed home through the cold morning mist to his modest wooden house tucked beneath pine trees. There, by the warmth of his hearth, he gently dried the pup and fed it milk from a bottle fashioned from a recycled soy sauce container. He named the otter Kawa, the Japanese word for river. In the weeks that followed, the man who had spent 4 decades wrestling the sea for a living found himself tending to a different kind of tide, one of healing and companionship. He cried if I left the room, Sakamoto chuckles. So I carried him everywhere, even when I was gardening. As Kawa regained his strength, Sakamoto built a shallow pond behind the house and taught him to swim, encouraging him with pieces of fresh fish. At first, he hated the water, he says, laughing. Can you believe that? An otter who was afraid of water. Now, more than a year later, the bond between them is undeniable. Kawa follows Sakamoto through the fields, naps in his lap, and curls beside him every night near the crackling fire. Locals in the nearby town of Abashiri often see the pair walking together in the early morning fog, a quiet old man in boots, and a sleek little otter trotting by his side. Though wildlife experts have advised that Kawa be returned to the wild, Sakamoto remains hesitant. He wouldn't survive, he says, gently stroking the animal's fur. He's never hunted. He knows this place, this routine, and he knows me. There is no denying the ethical complexity of raising a wild animal in a domestic setting. But in this quiet corner of Hokkaido, the bond between man and otter seems to transcend rules and definitions. He's not just an animal, Sakamoto says, his eyes soft with affection. He's my companion. After all these years of working alone on the sea, I never thought I'd find someone to share the silence with. But here he is. As snow begins to fall again over the pine forest and the river swells with the coming thaw, an old fisherman and a river otter share the warmth of a home and the kind of quiet companionship that only life's gentlest moments can bring.